Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for another Saturday evening edition of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. Of course, I'm your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor here at Cryptocurrency.com. I hope you're doing fantastic wherever you happen to be tuning into the show from. We seem to be cruising along at a smooth 6,000 kbps up, so we should have no issues with the stream today. If there are issues, I swear this time it is probably you. All right, guys, let's get right in. We've got a lot to talk about today. Obviously, some very nice volatility coming in just over the last couple of hours. Nice movement in the market. Congratulations to everybody who was able to capitalize on it. We're going to break that down. We're going to look at two ways that you could have caught it. One focusing primarily on technical analysis and chart overlays, and the other method focusing on, and this is going to be a big, not a big surprise, but this is going to be a big boon for you guys out there who are really fans of sentiment analysis. There were fantastic leading indicators in sentiment analysis that you could have used to capture this movement to the downside. All right, so I'm doing well, but before we get into that, let's head over here to the live scene and let's talk about a few things. So we do have to remind you guys, if you want to rock something like this, guys, which I have been told will increase your personal attractiveness by 85% and your trading efficacy by 95%. Yes, the t-shirts work just as well as the coffee mugs, I am told by our scientists. There is still 5 days left, 15% off everything in the Kraken Cryptocurrency merch store. Again, if you want to look like this and improve the efficacy of your trading through personal appearance alone, you guys can go check that out, krakencryptocurrency.com/merch. If you guys are watching the blog, krakencryptocurrency.com/blog, we've got a new article on here that goes into detail about how the Lightning Network nodes have exploded, as well as Bitcoin's price, a good leading indicator. Now, one thing that I haven't done, and this is something that I might be interested to do, and if anybody's done this, I would be interested to see the analysis, is some form of technical analysis on the growth of Lightning Network nodes and its relationship on Bitcoin's price. So we're looking at something kind of like the NVT signal. I would be interested to see how that moves price. If it does move price, if it has some kind of measurable influence. But anyways, this is a good read. Obviously, you guys know that as a true believer in Bitcoin, I'm very excited by the Lightning Network. If there's two camps, which I have noticed over the last, I don't know, the last 6 to 8 months or so since Lightning Network has been kind of a big deal on the news, you know, in people's minds, talking about since it's become a reality and actually been pushed out of the testnet and into active use, there seems to be two strong camps, and it's my personal opinion that you have one strong camp, which is I would say that there's and this is applicable to a lot of situations, not just Bitcoin, but broadly speaking as well, the Bitcoin kind of two camps disagreement over whether Lightning Network is real Bitcoin type BS, which is it's just BS in my opinion. So that will clearly let you know which camp I am in. I view the Lightning Network as a natural growth and progression of Bitcoin. I don't see it as an aberration. I think that is an old hackney, tired argument that FUDsters want to bring up, individuals who are very uncertain about the future of Bitcoin. And honestly, here's the reality. I think that the bear market has been emotionally and psychologically so traumatic to a lot of individuals that they're really stuck in the disbelief cycle, right? Now for me, I'm fairly agnostic currently as to whether Bitcoin's price breaks out of the bear market, which I don't believe that it will be actually at this point in time. I don't think that we've seen I don't think that we've seen the last time that Bitcoin's price will be between 3,000 to 4,000, but I'm willing to be wrong as a trader and an investor. I'm willing to be wrong. And honestly, since I've been sitting in spot BTC since before the pump, before the breakout of 4,000, nothing would make me happier than if the market would continue to pump my bags. That would just be amazing. So hats off to you guys who are out there pumping my bags and pumping all of our bags. So that's really, really good, man. But as far as a trader, basically focusing on my positions for leverage positions, I have to be agnostic. I have to be agnostic as far as what positions I make. So again, it's difficult, especially as a public figure, or any investor or trader, having to wear two hats, being a believer in cryptocurrency and then being a trader and focusing on my financial future and the financial freedom that I want to provide to my children and my family when I'm no longer around on this earth. Again, that's something that I've talked about at length, why I began trading in the first place. The reason that I began trading was not to get rich, although trading has been good to me and allowed me to live a lifestyle that is comfortable for myself and my family. But I started trading as a call to responsibility, as a reason, as a purpose to say that I don't trust the government, I don't trust the banks, I don't trust these 401ks or pension plans, I don't trust anything that would allow, and this all just came to me. I started trading right after the financial crisis of 2008. When I just realized that nobody out there cared about my financial future besides myself. So I took it upon myself to learn what had been an absence in my education as a youth, which was investing, trading, finance, economics, how these things work. That led me down the path of Murray Rothbard, Mises, which really kind of also pushed me down other paths as well to give me the psychology and the philosophy that I hold today. But I digress. Anyway, so go check this article out. It's a really good one. And again, if anybody's done some kind of analysis on that, I would be interested to hear that. Let's get right into the live scene. Let's go over here to XBT's price and look what we've got going on. Obviously, we've got this nice run up within the last couple of hours. And we're going to look, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to break down the technical elements that have allowed you to capture this movement just using my technical indicators. You guys are free to use your own. And again, if you have them in the chat, if you want to post your charts and show how you did or did not catch this particular movement or how it fits into your larger position, maybe your broader, longer term swing position, I would be more than happy to see that and give my opinions on that as well. So anyways, the two main signals here that we can obviously point out broadly. Not broadly, sorry, I say broadly a lot. It should be a drinking game. Every time I say broadly speaking, somebody sent that to me. Every time I say broadly speaking, people take a shot. Don't do that. You'll probably be drunk before break time. But anyways, we have two buy signals from the 15-minute time transformation. Now, one thing that you will notice is a little bit different in our analysis over the last few days is that we have been focusing more on Ichimoku. We have been focusing more on the lower time frames. Why is that? Because the more volatile an asset is, the opportunities on lower time frames present themselves. For a long period of time when price was trading within that $3,000 to $4,000 range, trading the 15-minute chart, in my humble opinion, was not overly profitable, or at least it wasn't congruent with my strategy of technical analysis and trading. I prefer to focus more on the longer term swing positions, which I think is really what you should do. And again, in a range, you simply buy oversold conditions and you simply sell overbought conditions. And that's basically what we did for the majority of the market. And it did very well for us. So anyways, again, price in its ranging behavior. And when price is ranging, you can use Ichimoku and you can use time transformation beautifully to capture these movements. So anyways, we get two 15-minute buy signals here on time transformation, which would have had you averaging into the trade anywhere from around 49.97 to the low here of about 49.87. So about a $10 range that you would have been averaging into. You don't get a sell signal here on this retest, although you could have used the price action and traded this particular candle right here. So you could have taken this trade and got about a 0.5% trade. You would have had to be using fairly high leverage because the market orders might have eaten your profit away from you. But again, profitable trade on the table if you know how to properly manage and execute it. And then if you would have just taken this next buy signal, it would have set you up for a beautiful 4% trade. Very nice, and you would bound a trade. Now, whether or not you would have shorted that or just used it as an opportunity to sell, again, either way, the risk to reward was in your favor. In this particular circumstance, that strategy would have worked out quite well. The other thing that we can go and look at is if we go ahead and compare this or combine this with Ichimoku as well, we can see several things. Price breaks out of the cloud here, so we get that first initial buy signal here when price is coming back down for a bullish retest of the cloud. Again, the future cloud is bullish, so we're looking at that. The future cloud is bullish, so we're biased to the long side. Price is coming down, bounces off the cloud. We get that 15-minute buy signal. What happens? Price comes up here and closes both above the Tenkan and the Kijun. But one thing to keep your eye on is that we get that bearish TK crossover right there. So you might have held back from that position. And again, even if you would have entered here on the crossover, whether you would have entered the reversal trade off the bounce of the 15-minute Kumo cloud, or whether you would have entered the trade on the breakage of the Tenkan and the Tenkan and the Kijun right here, you would have only had maybe about 1% drawdown. Again, I don't know what your metrics are for trading on the 15-minute time frame. But anyways, you get another chance here because price comes back down into the cloud. You get the 15-minute buy signal. And broadly, if you can see the yellow line of initiation right here, that actually should be a support line because that is the 3-day Kijun. That is the daily Tenkan, okay, that we've been keeping our eye on very closely. It helps, again, if you zoom out and have that higher time frame bias as to which direction you're positionally trading. It can help you look to only take positions that are in the direction of your higher time frame bias. That it's really going to help you out. So again, you can use this. This is just the old adage: when price is trending to the upside, you're not looking to take shorts. You're only looking for pullbacks to enter into a long position. When price is trending to the downside, you are not looking to take oversold buy conditions. You are only looking for pullbacks to the upside to re-enter into a short position. That's an age-old strategy that will do you well in any market or any asset class that you decide to trade on. But price does come back and close above the Kijun right here, stays above the cloud, so comes into the cloud, crosses above the cloud, pulls back and finds support both on the Tenkan and the Kijun, and on the very next candle, you get that bullish TK cross. You've already pulled back down to retest. So again, we talked about when you get a bullish cross, whether you're talking moving averages. So again, this strategy I think will do you very well because a lot of people get excited about golden crosses, right? Crosses of the 50 moving average and crosses of the 200 moving average, whether you're talking simple moving averages or exponential moving averages. In my experience, you do not want to blindly buy golden crosses. You are going to get stopped out the majority of the time. Why? Because by the time the moving averages catch up and print the crossover, the movement in the short term has already taken place, and price is now going to pull back to retest that area of the cross or the moving average or whatever have you as support before continuing and actually playing out the golden cross. This is why a lot of individuals get stopped out when they try to blindly play golden crosses. Ichimoku, bullish Tenkan and Kijun crosses, or bearish Tenkan Kijun crosses, TK crosses for short, are no different. But in this particular circumstance, we actually do get a pullback corresponding with the TK cross. So something to keep in mind, and then price accelerates. So we have the 15-minute time transformation buy signal, and we also get the Ichimoku giving us a confirmed buy signal. And if we go back, this is something that you might be saying, but Justin, let's go back and look at the daily range. There was a couple opportunities where we could have taken that same setup and gotten stopped out. You're absolutely right. And guess what? This trade would have made up for those stops and put money in your pocket. If you're going to trade with a if this then that strategy, keep in mind, regardless of what strategy you use, you can always optimize it. But I'm just giving you a broad reference because I want to encourage you to go out and find the strategy for yourself. Don't just look to copy anybody, even if it's me. Again, I try to give you the tools, the broad tools that you can use to develop your own strategy. And that's something that I try to focus on very, very, very hard in the members group, is helping people develop their own strategy, whether this is through the DM or whether this is through my market analysis or whether this is through my webinars. So let me get a sip of water here, guys. Okay. So keep in mind that in any strategy that is actually going to put money in your pocket, you're typically going to get stopped out several times before you actually catch a profitable movement, okay? The goal of this, the goal of money management, is that when you do get stopped out attempting to initiate a trade, because you're taking every signal your strategy gives you, otherwise you don't have a strategy. If you are not taking every signal that your strategy gives you, that means you don't believe in your strategy, you haven't refined it enough, you haven't practiced it enough, and you don't really have a strategy. Because if you allow your emotions, your subjective idea of what price action is doing, to influence your strategy that you have built and that is smarter than you, You're not smarter than your strategy. Your strategy is smarter than you. You take every signal your strategy gives you without question and you manage your risk. And at the end of the year, if your equity curve is higher, guess what? You are in the 1% of traders. You are a profitable trader. Otherwise, if you allow your emotions and subjectivity to influence your trading decisions, you're going to stay in the 99%. You have a mountain, you have an avalanche of uphill battling to do to pull yourself out of the majority of traders that lose money because they think they're smarter than their strategy that they can build. Or worse off, they don't even work on building a strategy that they can always look at and know exactly what to do at any point given in time. So anyways, we have that. Now let's go to a couple other leading indicators that you could have used if you are using sentiment analysis, which again is a good bonus, which is a good back end, I don't want to say long bias reference, but I want to say it is a good tool that you can use. I would not recommend blindly trading sentiment analysis, but I would highly recommend understanding it and understanding how you can interpret it to improve and enhance the efficacy of your trading. If we go over here and look at the longs to shorts ratios, I'm on the hourly chart right now. This is obviously Bitfinex longs to shorts ratios. We can see that sentiment precedes price. So here we have the longs to shorts ratios. If we actually go back, we're looking at time transformation here. Sometimes it gives us okay signals on the lower time frames like this. Sometimes it can chop us up. So again, we're not looking really at time transformation. We'll actually go ahead and disable that. But we're just looking at the pattern, the ebb and flow of the longs to shorts ratios. So again, if you can see up here, I am combining, and this is something that I don't see a lot of people do, which I recommend that you do. People only take into account the BTC USD longs to BTC USD shorts. I don't recommend that you do that. I recommend that you look at all the markets, the euro, the Japanese yen, the Great British Pound. I recommend that you combine all of those and you can just see right here how to do that. So you just, make a hyphen here and you include all the BTC USD, you include all the BTC fiat pairings on Bitfinex, which is USD, euro, Great British Pound, and the Japanese yen. And then I actually combine that with the current price of Bitcoin so that it's actually accurate. It is not just giving me, it's actually showing me how much money in general, or what the longs to shorts ratios is in terms of dollar value put into the longs to shorts, which I find is far more indicative of the actual positioning of traders. Similarly to why I like to look at things like the market depth ratio or look at the bid-ask sum on spot exchanges, because it's much more difficult to manipulate a spot exchange buy or sell than it is to where it is very easy to manipulate the BitMEX order book, for example, because you can have a 14-year-old kid with $10,000 putting on a highly leveraged $100,000, $250,000 position with a smaller amount of capital. So it's easier to spoof or manipulate futures books, especially the BitMEX books, than it is to manipulate and spoof the regular spot exchange order books. Not only do they have, and it's not perfect, so I'm not saying that spoofing does not occur on Coinbase, but although compared to other platforms, they do have detection software for spoofing. So they do have measures in place to reduce that. And again, it's harder to do in general because you actually have to put up the dollar for dollar amount value. There's no leverage on Coinbase Pro. There's no, so okay, just so we're on the same page with that. Anyways, moving forward, we see here that sentiment does precede price. So we can actually see the longs to shorts ratios dropping off fairly dramatically. So we do drop from, let's see here. So I've got the percentages pulled up. So I'm actually going to have to, this. Okay, cool. So longs to, actually, what happened? There we go. So the current longs to short ratio is 1.09, and we have a pretty significant drop off. So about a 4% drop off just in about, what, 6 hours. So if you would have been watching this through the morning hours, you would have had a pretty good indication that price was going to take a move down, especially when you see the momentum of the shorts scaling into price, especially when price is quite high. And then when you would have seen price pumping up and not a really significant increase in longs, but really just moving into those short orders, you have a pretty good idea the price is going to move down, especially if we go over here and pair this with the market depth ratio. So this was more indicative for me. So you have the longs to shorts ratios giving you a bearish bias. But if we look closely at the market depth ratio, and keep in mind, this is measuring all pairs of Bitcoin. So what do we see? We see price spike up dramatically, but we do not see a significant increase in limit buys. In fact, we already saw here that limit orders really almost preceded price because we have a spike in the limit sells and then price spikes up to meet them, and then the limit sells just jump off the face of the map. The market depth ratio moved all the way down to, I think, a high of -40. -41.4. So that's a pretty bearish leading indicator, especially when you've already seen price pump, you've broken out of the range, you're reverting to reversion to the mean strategy, so you feel that, you know, price is likely to fall back down, gravity is about to take effect. You see a massive drop off in the longs to shorts ratios, you see a big increase in passive selling to absorb that aggressive buying that just took place in the market. And so pretty good indications for price to revert back down to the downside. All right, so that was a brief, hopefully that was helpful. Those are indications that you can see. So we can see there how everything kind of aligned, the stars align. You have technical indicators that are very helpful that would have given you the signal. You have sentiment indicators that would have not given you as accurate or quick signals because those technical indicators that I showed you really captured some of the best moments in the market to be entering into a position. The sentiment indicators did not capture the best moment, and maybe they did. Maybe again, it's not my speciality. It's just something that I am pretty good at pointing out and correlating to technical indicators, which are my speciality. I'm a technical trader. So if you're able to utilize those sentiment analysis to actually find more pinpoint turning points in the market, kudos to you. Keep in mind, I am on your side. I want everybody to be making money. I'm just speaking from my experience and what I've noticed with this. So there's that. And again, just how everything kind of aligned. The longs to shorts ratios, the market depth ratio, the bid-ask sum as well, if you go look at that, and then the technical indicators as well to capture both the movements to the upside. You would have needed the technical indicators to capture the movements to the upside, but this combined with the sentiment analysis would have given you the good movement to the downside. But again, you need those technical indicators to really help you time the market because, you know, if you would have just looked at those sentiment indicators, that would have been pretty bearish. You would have been looking for a sell, and what happened? If you would have shorted that range, you would have gotten wrecked because price pumped right up and liquidated you. So, all right, let's get back over. I want to talk about some of those fundamental data metrics that I did not have time to talk about tomorrow. So here we're gonna start with the total crypto market cap. And again, just keeping in mind really what's going on, we have the daily Tenkan actually significantly below us. So this is a little bit different when we look at the Ichimoku. This is going to be a little bit different than Bitcoin's price. But as far as price action goes, following Bitcoin's price action, I mean, almost to a T. So we're going to start off on the daily chart here for the total crypto market cap. We are continuing to receive rejection from that level that I had pointed out on the chart, about 17.6 to 18.9. I know what some of you are saying, but Justin, that's a low volume node. Listen, resistance is resistance. And if you want the logical indication for why I've plotted this out as a critical level of horizontal support or resistance, which I've seen, again, this has been plotted on my chart for a long time, guys. So anyways, I'm just using the true low of the lowest low of the total market cap right here. It's actually doubled up right here. And then I'm using the actual true close of that candle. That is representing a order block, a bearish order block for me, where there's a liquidity zone. A lot of individuals bought in this area. A lot of individuals bought up this area or had limit buys in this area. So I'm looking again for that support and resistance flip, right? When you have an area on the chart that acts as strong demand and then is disrespected, it often acts as strong supply, regardless of where it falls. So keep in mind with any technical indicator, the VPVR is a powerful tool, but just because it's a low volume node, guess what also occurs in low volume nodes? Stop loss hunts. Those are pools of liquidity, and they can be difficult to overcome, especially if that area was a previously strong point of demand or supply. And as we can see here, it was a very strong point of demand because it reversed the markets not pretty much 3 times, once, twice, 3 times. As you can see here, it reversed the market here back in August of 18, back in September of 18, and then for a brief dip in October of 18 before being crashed through, consolidating briefly again in that area. And that is the area where Bitcoin finds itself, or excuse me, where the total market cap finds itself at resistance. As you can see, I do have this dotted red line, and that's actually coming in around 16.6. So this area corresponds to the previous weekly level of resistance that I had plotted out on the chart. So when we're looking at the total market cap from historical data, again, we can't actually plot that correct line out here. But again, I'm just using those same metrics, basically doing some guesswork, to be honest with you, from correlating them from Bitcoin's price action and the price action flow that I've seen with the total market cap and putting the line on the chart. As we can see, price did respect it on a closing basis once, twice, broke through, and is now trying to hold above it. So today's close is attempting to close above it. Today's close will most likely close above this level of resistance. So this would give me a slightly bullish bias, guys. I do think that we push back up and retest that level of resistance again. And keep in mind, I don't think that we're going to have any significant breakout or breakdown for a while. I think that we do consolidate at this level. And I'm going to be keeping my eye on keep in mind, Bitcoin and Ethereum, well, maybe we can put these in two different camps. Bitcoin the volatility has returned, guys. Go look at BVOL 24 hour. The volatility has returned to Bitcoin, and you can day trade Bitcoin again. It's profitable to day trade Bitcoin again. So get out there, get your indicators right, get your strategy ready, and go get some money, guys, while the money is good, because the volatility is not always going to be this jam-packed high. I mean, there were two beautiful trades on the table today that would have made you a killing. And with good risk management, all the other small stop outs that you would have had on the path to making that progress, to catching that beautiful trade, would have been worth it. And that's not always been the case for Bitcoin's volatility. So you have to remember that volatility, market cycles, they ebb and flow. So get while the getting is good. If you're not actively trading Bitcoin right now, I don't know what to tell you, man. You're missing an opportunity. The market is looking at you and telling you, trade me. It's profitable. Volatility. And if you're sitting on the sidelines scared, you're missing out. Okay. This is going to be very similar to the total market cap excluding Bitcoin. As we can see, we are getting rejection from that resistance point as well that I've plotted out on the chart. Let's go back, let's go back to the total crypto market cap. This is the daily. We are holding above that level of resistance. And you can see that we are above both the Kumo cloud, and we've already had a bullish Tenkan Kijun cross, and we are above the Tenkan and the Kijun as well. Okay, good signs. We have our first area of support coming on the daily Kijun, about 15.3. I would say broadly, if price is above my level of resistance here, 16.6, I'm quite bullish. Coming back down, if price is above 15.3, I'm mildly bullish, right? It's going to take breaking back down into the cloud before I think that we should be in long-term leverage short positions, breaking back down into the cloud and going back down into our previous trading range. Going to the 3-day. Now, this is very similar to Bitcoin's price activity. We can see that I've actually drawn the resistance line slightly above. It would be totally acceptable in your analysis to draw the line here congruent with the 3-day Kijun. That 3-day Kijun is coming in at, 16.4. So 16.4 is where the 3-day Kijun is actually coming in, and the 3-day is trying valiantly to close above it. Again, another bullish sign, but we're getting ejection from the Kumo cloud. So price getting squeezed below resistance and support, tightening up. We're going to see which way price breaks. Getting into the 3-day Kumo cloud, we start to look really good, man. We start to look really good. And closing down below that 3-day Kijun would be the first early warning sign. We can see that that daily Kijun is correspondent with the 3-day Tenkan as well. So we have the level of, if you want to be aggressively short, closing the 3-day below the 3-day Kijun is now kind of your indication, for me anyways, to be looking at short positions and looking for a breakdown, return to the mean, return to that buy-in spot that I had pointed out in the cyan blue box territory when we get over to the Bitcoin chart. It's also congruent with that 24-hour Tenkan, where I am still mildly bullish above, will probably be in a long-term, not in a long-term, excuse me, will be in a short position on the closure below the Tenkan, looking for that retest of the Kijun, but still at that point looking to buy dips, all right? It's not until we drop below the Tenkan, that 3-day Kijun, that 3-day Tenkan and the 24-hour Tenkan as well, that I really start to be very tentative, and there's nothing to look for long until we see a shakeout of the shorts and we see a dramatic shift in the market structure again. Anyways, getting back to the watch list, longs to shorts ratios broadly on a longer term time frame. Breaking back down into the cloud on the daily time period. We didn't get a sell signal. We did get a little bit of bearish divergence on this candle right here, closing below the Kijun, closing below the daily Tenkan. Let's go to the 3-day so we can get a little bit more of a better picture. Yes, cross up, trading above the Kijun, but rejection from the 3-day Tenkan. So still looking at that 3-day Kijun for support, so 1.03, and looking for the longs to shorts ratios to remain positive. Again, that's going to be another leading indicator closing below that we should be looking in a different direction than upwards. Okay, now let's go look at Bitcoin dominance, and this is very, very interesting to me. So I'm going to stay on the daily for this. Now, I've been plotting this out for a while, and I'm a little tentative about this, but the more and more I look at this and correlate this to previous price history, I do think this is a fantastic leading indicator. As we can see, Bitcoin dominance is consolidating, but on a clear downtrend. Listen, we had 1, 2, 3 nice days of ascension here, but we have this long-term resistance diagonal, right, that we have not been able to break above. You can see that we're below the Tenkan, we're below the Kijun, and we're well below the daily Kumo cloud here on Bitcoin dominance. And we have this horizontal level of support, right? So after the run up, right, Bitcoin dominance saw a low of 39.40%, right, back in May of 2018, and then surged all the way to reach its recent high of above 61.09%. That would have been back in September of 2018. And then it's mostly just been sideways. But this level here on the chart, 52.91, is actually the level that I have plotted out. You can see where it's just supported price once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, now 7 times. But again, we're forming this nice descending triangle pattern on Bitcoin dominance. If Bitcoin dominance breaks the support line, it is going to be very, very bullish for the alts. We are going to see a continuance of the alt season, in my opinion. And so at this point in time, with Bitcoin dominance kind of teetering on the edge, I'm not bearish on altcoins. I'm not bearish on altcoins. I still think that they represent a good risk to reward ratio to be looking at dips as opportunities to accumulate, because I do think that we push higher on a lot of our key alts here. And again, remember the market cycle, guys. We're restarting the market cycle. Capital and volume pours into Bitcoin. Bitcoin makes its move. The large caps follow behind it. They pump and pump and pump and pump and pump while Bitcoin is flat and stable. And then they go stable or slightly on the decline. The mid caps pump. Then they go stable, start tilting downwards. The low caps pump and the low sats pump. And then all the capital flows back into Tether. The whole market dips, and we continue the whole thing over again. This has been a repeatable pattern that we've seen time and time and time again in cryptocurrency, and I don't see any reason for it to end now. A lot of good, I'm not going to get into the tinfoil hat conspiracies about why Bitcoin's price pumped. As a technical analyst, I don't need to worry about some of that stuff, but I have watched a couple interesting YouTube videos, and I have read a couple interesting articles. Everything from, well, it was the SEC's ruling on the ICOs that they're going to be, easy and heavy-handed on them. I think that's bullshit, because it's been pretty common knowledge that the SEC is going to have a light hand when it comes to ICOs for a long time. That's been, if you have not been living under a rock, that's been well known for quite a while. We've talked about that on this channel for quite a while. And then I think the most interesting speculation is that it was Bitmain, one of the largest holders of cryptocurrency, obviously suffering under a lot of debt, $1 billion in the hole. And if anybody needed their bags pumped more than Bitmain, it would have been Bitmain. So anyways, just an interesting, again, I don't really have to get into the conspiracy theories, because as a technical trader, it doesn't really matter what the news is doing. I think that is a setup for failure, but I digress. Anyways, so keep your eyes on that BTC dominance. I think that is going to be a great leading indicator for the altcoins, and just teetering on the brink right here, man, about to drop below that 53. I think if we do end up closing and moving downwards from that support level, we're going to see some significant bullishness in the altcoins, guys. So don't sell your bags just yet. Getting over to Tether dominance, we can see Tether dominance continues to drop, man, continues to drop. You could look at this, oh man, we might have a reversal here. There's just no signs of it. We are getting the oversold indications here on time transformation, but that doesn't mean anything when we've been in a strong downtrend. We need to see a nice resurgence. Then I need to see some continuation from that, right? So again, as we talked about, as long as Tether dominance is dropping, cryptocurrency remains bullish, man, because it shows its strength and confidence in cryptocurrency as opposed to tethering up. And I thought that a movement like we saw today or yesterday, where we saw that big drop, I thought that we would see a surge in Tether, but we did not. In fact, we saw more people selling Tether to buy more crypto. Don't sell your bags just yet, guys. Okay, that's about it for the longer term stuff that I wanted to look at that I don't really see anybody else talking about, so definitely stuff to keep your eyes on. That's about all I've got here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, let's take some time and engage with the chat, man. Let's get over here to the chat, man, and let me say hello to everybody. Let me see if I'm missing anything, good people. Sean Baum, we got Ireland in the house, Cannon Man, United States in the house. What's going on? Iana Valentine, Dima representing for Ukraine, and Iana Valentine representing for Romania, guys. Hey, man, just don't start taking your shirts off and hitting each other, man. We'll be all good. Planet Earth in the house. Anybody from the moon? Bad Andy, are you guys using a VPN, and which one? I recommend Windscribe. There is a link in our Discord. If you look in the referral links channel, you can use, it's actually not mine, it's Ben's. So if you click that, it actually helps Ben out. You don't have to pay for anything. Windscribe does give you free VPN service. I want to say it's like a gigabyte or maybe more a month, maybe more. I think it's 3 gigabytes, maybe potentially. But anyways, their premium is well worth it. It's about $13 a month, give or take. You can pay anonymously. You can pay with cryptocurrency. You don't have to give them any personal information. I wouldn't recommend any VPN. At this, Windscribe is what I use, so I recommend it. Does it slow down your bandwidth? Yes. Unknown Now says, I got greedy and did not close at 42.20 for the short. Trading cryptos is mentally tormenting. It can be, but it also cannot be. So again, you just want to get your psychology right and have that if this, then that strategy. If you don't have an if this, then that strategy, you're always going to ask yourself, did I use that tool at the right time? Did I anchor this fib right, man? Do I got these moving averages settings set right? You know, should I even be using the Ichimoku? Like, man, like, you know, there's a lot of indecision that comes from not taking the time to back test a strategy. Just take a strategy and draw out your rules, draw out your stop and target system, and use that and have that as your fallback. You can, and I don't really recommend this, especially if you're only been trading for less than 3 years, to be quite honest with you. I don't recommend deviating from your strategy. But once you put in enough time and experience and you're very confident in your strategy and you can look to optimize it with price action and with your own subjectivity after you already have spent quite a long time building a profitable strategy, then you can start to improvise a little bit. You can start to improvise a little bit. And that's when you can get some really beautiful trades coming in and you can use your personal subjectivity. But again, not if you're in your first 3 years of trading, man. And by trading, if you've been trading crypto for the last 2 years and you haven't gotten the results that you want, you need to build an if this then that strategy and don't deviate from it for 2-3 years. All right, so you're starting completely over, right? Forget everything you learned before, go back to the drawing board and build an if this then that strategy. All right. Wonderful Bricks asks for EVX BTC. Let's go to the schedule. I promised that I would look at Go for my good friend Eli. So we will look at Go, of course, and we'll look at EVX BTC. Let's see here. Drinking right now. N4 Guinness is deep. Let's go. Hell yeah, man. Ken Master Ist. Do I think there are legit paid crypto signal channels? I do. I think there's one. It's right at the top of the screen, man. Does the time transformation work with Forex? Quite well. Hey, Bitcoin Boogie. Good to see you, man. Justin, how do I believe Bitcoin will trend in the next week? Most likely sideways. Justin, what was your price on the second signal entry there? Sure, man. I'm going to assume you're talking about the Bitcoin 15-minute chart. For time transformation, I'm going to assume you're referring to as well. In time transformation on this candle, we closed at 49.87.5. 49.87.5 on this buy signal. And right here, we closed at 49.96. We get the 15-minute buy signal over here inside the cloud. Good opportunity if you want to, but keep in mind, we're also below the cloud, right? We're also below, we're not below the cloud, but below the Tenkan and the Kijun. So we're below resistance, and you're taking a bet taking that buy signal. But if you take it, it's worth it, man. It's worth it. Again, we're range trading. Typically, when you see a big dump like that, it's a good opportunity, especially if you can capture these. But if you're not able to really capture the wicks and capitalize, I would just rather sit out until you can catch the next swing. My personal opinion. Where are we going from here? I think we're going to go sideways. What is the best site to buy and sell crypto? If you're new to this, man, I would recommend Coinbase Pro and Binance. I trade on Binance and BitMEX, but I am actively looking for an alternative to BitMEX. I'm playing around a little bit on Deribit. I've heard good things about Bybit and Monfex, but not enough to either recommend them or put large capital on there, which I need an exchange I can trust with larger capital. So, can you show exactly to set up the longs versus shorts ratios to include all currency pairs? Sure, man. We're going to go over here to, we're just going to, we'll just go here and I'll just show you how I do it. So you're going to put in a left-facing hyphen, and you're going to go to BTC USD longs plus BTC Euro EUR longs plus BTC GBP longs plus BTC JPY longs plus BTC USD. The first option is going to be Bitfinex, but I always do like to click Bitfinex here just to make sure that I have the right thing. Okay, then we're going to go to the end of that. We're going to put in the left-facing hyphen. So sorry, I think I misspoke earlier. Right-facing hyphen. You guys understand what I'm doing. And then / divide. Another right-facing hyphen. BTC USD shorts plus BTC EUR shorts plus BTC GBP shorts plus BTC JPY shorts, JPY, sorry, plus BTC USD. Left-facing hyphen, and then just hit enter. And there you go. You have the actual accurate looking across all pairs, fiat pairings on Finex, the longs to shorts ratio. So I do recommend that you guys do that. And then again, if you want to use the if you want to trade with the longs to shorts ratios, say we're on the XBT USD chart, we can click compare. And actually, to make this easy, I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to select Control A and Control C to copy all that. We're going to go over here to compare. So the compare button is right here. Well, you guys can't see it, but you guys understand what I'm saying. It's right to the left of indicators in TradingView. You click compare, and you just copy that in there, and you hit enter. Should take a second to load, and you should get the longs to shorts ratios right there. So you can trade using that longs to shorts ratios, and we're going to click settings. Let's see here. We're going to click on this. We're going to pin to new left scale. So we actually have a new scale. I'm going to click our old scale and go to regular. There we go. And there we go. Now this is pinned to a new scale. Click scale price chart only and regular. Okay, so not percentage, but regular. All right, so regular, when we do, hopefully you guys followed that. Once we have the longs to shorts ratios on our chart, we're going to click it. We're going to select pin to scale, select new scale. I have my scales on the left. If you guys have your scales on the right, that's totally fine. I recommend pinning it to a new scale. Once you've done that, you want to go over here. With your regular scale, you can, I unclick scale price chart only, personal preference, regular. And then on the new one, regular, get it off percent and unclick scale price chart only. And then you will have a nice longs to shorts ratios. So here you can just see, when you see the longs to shorts ratio, you see price spiking up. And what do you see the longs to shorts ratios do? Dropping down. Good indication to be going short. Sentiment precedes price. And you can even more broadly see, right? So you have a huge spike up in longs right here. And you see sentiment preceding price movement right here. Big spike up in longs. Price accelerates. And then as price begins moving up, guess what's happening? We have a little bit of consolidation here for the longs to shorts ratios. Difficult to determine what to do. But again, you can say that it is forming a descending triangle pattern. You have consistent support, 1, 2, 3 touches on support, and 3 lower highs in the longs to shorts ratios. As price is moving up, sentiment is looking bearish. And you reach this high right here. As you have an increase, you have a maxing out of shorts. You have profit taking on this big move down. And price is moving sideways, but sentiment is moving to the downside. Now, you got to be careful, though, because guess what? You get a stop loss on before price moves down. So just looking at the longs to shorts ratios, this would be bearish to me. This looks overall bearish. So I do have to, but keep in mind, technically, I'm bullish. So again, you guys can take that data however you want. If you come up with a different conclusion than me, that's totally fine. I encourage and recommend you guys go out and find your own ways to trade. But looking at longs to shorts ratios, I would say that this does look bearish, right? Because we have negative sentiment. Again, you want to be careful on that altar of, oh man, the longs to shorts ratios is low. That means we're going up. No, it doesn't always mean that. In fact, it rarely means that. Typically, sentiment precedes price. Typically, sentiment precedes price. So anyways, we will get rid of that for right now. Bybit for shorting or leverage trading too. That's right, volatility is back. I'm actively trading. It's crazy. Chris L, hopefully I showed you how to do that. What leading alts haven't seen pumps without Bitcoin influence yet? That's where the next decent trades are, in my humble opinion. Well, like I said, I think we're starting the market cycle over, man. You know, so I think well, I mean, you can make the argument, and again, I'm kind of hedging with positions in both sectors right now, honestly, with low sat coins that I don't think have seen good movements yet, and starting back again with the big caps, man. Again, if we see that drop, I think that we're going to see alts move across the board. Wally, man, thank you so much for the $15, my good friend. He says, my sentiment for cracking crypto is bullish, and my hopes are always that you're taking profits. Learn, earn, and don't get burned. Cross his fingers in front of face and says, like a boss. So you know what? I took that margin call and I threw it on the ground. Thank you, my good friend. Thank you so much. Wally, you are one of the good ones as always. Looking forward to chatting with you, man. Looking forward to chatting with you. You're a good guy. All right, let's scroll up. I missed a little bit of, okay, good. I didn't miss that much of the trade. Camille Europe, hey, good to see you on Twitch, man. Thank you so much for chatting in the chat room. Sorry if it was a while to get back to you. Let me send you a shout out. All right. I'm ETH short from 170. Good trade. I actually took take profit 2 on my ETH long was 170. So I'm 75% out of my ETH long, still above my entry position on ETH, as well as the rest of the members in the trading group. Good trade, pulling about 7% profit off that in total. And now just waiting. ONT USDT, again, can't comment on ONT USDT because we have an active position. I have to be thoughtful of the premium groups and respect what they do pay for. GJ says, what do I think of Life Token's philanthropic vision? You know, there's kind of a joke in trading that stock market philanthropy is when you lose because you're being philanthropic with your trading account. I don't really know anything about Life Token, man. I'm sorry, man. So I couldn't comment on that. I'd have to do some more research. So I don't really like commenting on things that I really don't know anything about, man. Quinn Berry, good to see you, man. Da Vinci J15, aka the Oracle set. Next week, massive drop under 4,200. Do I agree? I don't know if I agree with him from a technical perspective, but again, that would broadly confirm my bias that I don't think we've seen the bottom yet, or if we haven't seen the bottom, that we will go back into the trading range. I'm on record saying that I think, broadly speaking, this movement is a bull trap. I think that we will go lower. So I'm hesitant saying, because I don't know exactly what he said or what, you know, because you know that's helpful, but you know, we'll see. Do you think this year will be reversal to a slow bull run, and when do we think it'll peak? 2021, 2023? You know, I know that it's expected of me to like look at that stuff, but honestly, I don't, and I don't really care. I can come up with some pretty crazy numbers as far as how high Bitcoin's price can go. I definitely think that Bitcoin will, within my lifetime, be worth more than $100,000 per Bitcoin. But does that have any relevance to trading or what to do now? Absolutely not. Again, I mean, I have enough Bitcoin that I'm comfortable with as an investment. You know, and again, you guys can go back to my videos. When Bitcoin first dropped from 6K, I talked about, hey guys, start accumulating, right? For your long-term holds, we need to start looking at buying now. Doesn't really matter how low price goes, but we are now entering the area where we should be accumulating for the long term, right? That's completely different from my trading account, right? My trading account is agnostic. My trading account is right now biased to USD because that's the world I live in. Got to pay my bills. But I have enough Bitcoin that I'm going to feel comfortable regardless of where price goes. So don't think you've missed that boat yet. And again, when anybody ever asks me, hey man, what price should I buy Bitcoin for a long-term hold? Yesterday would probably have been a good price to buy. And that's going to be the same answer regardless of what the price is or what day it is. But do I think this year will be a reversal to a slow bull run? I do. Yes, I do. I think that price will be higher in next year today than it will be right now. Yes. FET USDT. Sure, man. FET USDT and Dash. I think that's going to be the last request I take. Thanks, Ryan. Happy to take it, man. You're one of the good ones, brother. See, it's 5:53. I'm going to take a break in about 7 minutes, so I probably won't start with the request until the second hour as we normally do. Can I discuss some of the buy-sell options on BitMEX and how I use them? Sure, man. There's the buy button and there's the sell button. No, I'm sorry. I'm just being sarcastic, man. Yeah, actually, maybe better than this. And again, sorry, if this sounds shilly, but, I have about a 2-hour walkthrough of BitMEX, and I go over every market, the up-down contracts, how leverage is calculated, how to select the right leverage, how to use your account balance to select your position size, how to avoid liquidations, how to take advantage of liquidations, what every single market means, what every single contract means, how to lock in a notional basis, what a notional basis is, what a notional basis percentage is, what all the terms mean. I go over funding. I go over how to profit from funding, how to not profit from funding. In that same webinar, I think I also go over scaling into and out of positions, so an advanced order type. I go over every single order type or buy-sell option in the BitMEX platform. It's about a 2-hour long presentation, and that's a premium webinar. So it's going to be, any answer that I give you here is you're going to have better resources there. So if you're interested in that, check the banner at the top of the screen, man. But generally, I mean, I market buy, I limit buy, I market sell, I limit sell. Depends on the setup, depends on the situation, depends on the trade. I do like to use trailing stop losses around take profit 2. I'll often use trailing stop losses if I know it's a day I'm going to be away from my computer frequently. So I'm able to kind of ladder those trailing stop losses down. That's about it. I pretty much I don't use stop limit orders. If you want to completely blow out your risk management and have a stop loss at, I don't know, let's say right here, let's say you have a stop loss at 49.71 and you want to get your stop order filled at 4,900, use a stop limit order. Use a stop market order, guys. It's going to save you a lot of money. All right, fees. I want to use a limit order. Never, ever, 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 ever in a market as volatile as Bitcoin, use a godforsaken stop limit order. Please, I'm begging you. I mean, some of the worst results. I mean, I just had and again, if you're listening, man, I love you to death, brother. But I just had a good friend message me the other day, and he blew out like half of his account because he was over leveraged. He was assuming too much risk. He wasn't paying attention, and he used a stop limit order, and he got crushed, decimated. And my heart's out to you, man. We're gonna build it back, but never use a stop limit order in BitMEX, in my opinion. Having a portfolio of 88% in Bitcoin and 12% in alt's a good thing. Yeah, in general, I think that's a great idea. Right now, I would be a little bit more aggressive toward alts, so probably 60-40. But again, that's your own personal preference. I can't give you a... Robert Jones says, my strategy is RSI plus stochastic RSI plus MACD, and don't jump to shitcoin pumps. Hey, I know, listen, I don't really like the RSI, and I really don't like the stochastic RSI. I've just noticed that they've never really worked for me, man. If you're able to use those tools for success, then hey, my hat's off to you, man, because you have overcome some significant barriers, because those are some of the most popular tools that are used. And generally, when you have a very popular tool, it tends to get counter traded. But if you're able to use those tools for success, man, my hat's off to you, man. I'm in the same corner with you, my brother. MACD is a pretty good indicator. It's not great, but it's pretty good. Quinberry, thanks so much for the $5, my friend, dude. He says, my favorite crypto stream. You take your time with your videos and listen to all our questions. Thank you, brother. No, thank you, brother, man. You're one of the good ones, man. Thank you so much for your support. Batam and Pandero Vero, good to see you, man. Says, thanks, mine was right with you. Matador is ready to stir the bull again. Hey, what's going on, Mr. Ether? Good to see you, brother. 10 points if someone can type that in the chat. Am I a day trader or a swing trader week to month? So I do focus more on swing trades and positional trading. The larger your account gets, the more you tend to focus on risk management and position sizing and trading in multiple directions, yes. But I do day trade as well, yes. Ooh, my daughter is. Good thing she's being well taken care of in the other room. What about aliens? What about aliens? I was having this, this might not be the place or the time with it, but I think this is a good, we got about 2 minutes before I go get another cup of coffee. This might be a good place for it. I was talking with Scott last night, you know, broadly about like conspiracy theories and why I'm so jaded on them. His personal opinion is that I've just like gone to the other extreme and I need to like settle back down. But I was having a conversation with somebody last night that was, and again, you know, I could have gauged the conversation completely wrong, but I felt was being like extremely cryptic and like wibble wobbly. And I really don't like that. Like, you know, I'm kind of a no nonsense guy, right? So if you're not like clear and concise and to the point and know what you want and tell me what you want, like I really don't have time to sit here and play like, you know, the emotional like what's that game? That Hasbro game where it's like the ice and you hit it and like people drop through the ice. That game. I don't really have time to play that emotional kind of game with a lot of people, or just, you know, it's like, I don't know, whatever. I don't have time for games. But again, I could have gauged the conversation wrong. I'm well aware of my own shortcomings as a human being. But yeah, so when I was younger, I used to be very on the left. I used to be really excited about conspiracy theories. I used to be really, really, really like into that stuff. And then I just took an objective look as I got older that most people who continue on down that path and don't really like kind of like grow up, I would say, their lives really generally don't tend to be that fulfilling. And again, listen, I'm not a hater, dude. If you are of that mindset and your life is extremely fulfilling, I'm in your corner, dude. I don't want anybody to have a shitty life. I want everybody to profit and do well. But I've noticed that people who aren't able to find a level head about that stuff and be a little bit more no nonsense, they typically don't get the results that they're looking for in life. It's just my personal opinion and my personal journey in life. So I'm really, 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 I just really dislike people who are like, well, you know, the moon and Saturn and Venus and Mars, and, you know, maybe, you know, if the, you know, look at these Navajo, you know, cave paintings, and it's like, yeah, man, like there are 50 million different ideas and philosophies. Do I broadly think that talking about that stuff is fun? Yes, I love having those conversations. But do I take it all with a huge grain of salt? Yes, man, because I think for me anyways, the purpose of my existence is to make the world around me a better place. You know, I can only improve my trading. At the end of the day, I'm responsible for every button click that I make. At the end of the day, I'm responsible for every conversation that I have with somebody, whether I rub somebody the wrong way, or whether I'm short with somebody, or whether I'm too trusting in somebody. It's all my responsibility. And that allows me to focus on myself and the universe around me that I can actually control and change. I mean, I think a lot of people are unnecessarily arrogant or unnecessarily like looking for too much. Like if you can't affect the world around you, your family, your friends, your children, your spouse, your loved ones, your job, if you can't make positive change in those environments, like what the hell makes you think that your political philosophy is going to affect or change the world for the better when you don't have your own house in order? So that's been the goal and focus of my life over the last decade, is to put my house in order. And now that I feel that I've accomplished that task fairly well, because I have a great relationship with my family, I have a great relationship with my friends. You know, I'm successful in the occupation that I've decided to move into, and that was one of the progenitions for me deciding to make the stream, because I feel that, you know, I've done everything that I can in my encapsulated environment, and now I feel that I'm ready to, or have been ready for a while actually, to kind of venture out and work with people. And I've been doing this for quite a while, but I don't know. Hopefully you guys can get the connection between that, conspiracy theories and all that, you know, and aliens. But, you know, yeah. And yes, I do believe in aliens, but, you know, again, with a grain of salt, man. Crypto Manat says, thanks for all the great stuff you're showing us. Keep going. Thank you, man. Bear flag on the 1 minute. Excuse the crazy low time frame. No, it's cool, dude. Let's take a look. Yeah, typically after a big volatile movement down, you get consolidation, continuation to the downside. What would I really be looking for here? Again, you could be looking for this aggressive reshort after the rejection of the Tenkan, or you could even be looking for a pop higher for the Kijun. Keep in mind, we are above the 15-minute cloud. So you would be, for me anyways, I would want to be seeing a close below the 15-minute cloud, would be worth taking a chance for me. And then a closure below that, the three-day Kijun and the daily Tenkan. That would be a go signal for me. So potentially scaling back into a short, and I'm willing to be wrong on that. GBU Wally says, as a premium member, I have to say, totally worth it. Great content and helpful training material. And if I can be frank, more info than I have time to keep up with. Good problem that. Thank you so much, man. And again, it's always a pleasure to have you in there. It's always a pleasure. I get to work with the best group of guys every single day. So if you guys are premium members, huge shout out to you. You guys drastically improve the quality of my life. Cryptomanat says, I am trading for a living for 3 years and doing well, but learned a lot from you in the last couple of weeks to maximize my profits. Thanks a lot, dude. Well, thank you, man. Appreciate your support. Honor says, glad I went premium as well. I'm in over my head. That's where I'd like to be. Won't be easy, nor should it be. I'm glad to see you in here, man. Did I see Peter Brandt's recent Twitter post stating BTC is ready to go parabolic? Any thoughts? You know, Peter Brandt was calling the bottom at 6,000. So that compound fulcrum theory of his. So, you know, Peter Brandt's become a meme, dude. You know, like I haven't seen any supremely really good TA from him. And if I'm missing something, I apologize. But again, at the end of the day, I have to, you know, I enjoy looking at like the members charts that they post because I like, you know, to just give them my opinion and my thought process on that. And if you guys want to post your charts in the trading chat channel of the general Discord, I encourage you guys to do that. When I don't always have the most time in the world to give it the attention that it deserves, but I do pop in there. I do see what you post, and I will, time allowing, give you my comments and thoughts on what you guys post in there. Try to help you guys refine your strategy. But as far as like other people's TA, it's really difficult for me to look at and be like, oh, well, they agree with me. You know, you kind of got to be a lone wolf, man, sometimes. Like when you're learning, you definitely want to be in a community. And again, being in a further community, I think does help you catch. So one of the biggest benefits for me is that there's so many coins and there's so many potential profits or profitable opportunities that you can't look at them all, man. I don't care what scanner you use. I don't care what software you use. You can't capture all the markets, man. There's nothing that beats a strong community that can help you monitor your different risk reward potentials that are out there. That's one of the other huge benefits of what we do. So anyways, guys, it is now 6:05. I actually went over 5 minutes. Yeah, nothing new. I'm going to take a couple minute break. I'm going to go grab some coffee. While you guys are waiting, man, I would really appreciate it, man. Of course, you can go over and check out the cryptocurrency.com blog. Again, just a reminder, all merchandise in the store is 15% off for the next 5 days. So if you guys want to grab yourself some Kraken Cryptocurrency merch, again, I have heard that wearing our t-shirts, drinking out of our coffee mugs, does improve the quality of your trading by about 85% and your personal attractiveness by about 90%. Those numbers tend to change like every time I say them, but that's just because it's like science. It's always growing and evolving, man. But anything you guys go out there and purchase for us does help us improve the quality of the stream, and we do appreciate your support. Otherwise, the other thing you can do is if you want to go to topg.crackingcryptocurrency.com, this is a Discord server ranking type of like, you know, top 100 type thing. If you guys want to go and give us a vote, we'd really appreciate that, man, in addition to hitting the like button. So I'll be back in a couple minutes, guys, and take it easy and do some of those stuff while I'm gone. And we're back, guys. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me. For those of you brave, valiant, wonderful souls who decided to sit through the break, I do have a little bit of coffee, drinking out of the Kraken Cryptocurrency mug right here. It's actually the HODL mug, and I've got the HODL shirt on because I am not selling my spot BTC. Not yet. No, 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 sir. Not with Tether dominance dropping. Bitcoin is cool. It is, man. Bitcoin's pretty cool. Oh, listen, guys. There is a really good video you guys should watch. Called yeah, Bitcoin and Friends. If you guys have not watched Bitcoin and Friends episode 1, go watch that. It is going to make your millennium. I guarantee you it will make your millennium. Wally says, I'm going to buy some Bitcoin with improper indicators and maddening underlying reasons so as to confuse all the traders and bots out there. All the bots but my own. Yes, that is the way to do it, man. That's some like high tier level market manipulation. Anyways, this is a good video, man. Tether dominance is dropping. Yes, it is. Been dropping for quite a while. Go to the 3-day. Yeah, 3-day starting to drop down into that oversold territory. But man, we're below all levels of support now. On the 3-day, the only thing that we have here, for example, is the 3-day Kijun and the 3-day Tenkan. I will be paying very close attention to any 3-day signals the time transformation gives me because they've been bang on. I mean, just capturing tops just beautifully. When tether dominance starts dropping, when we get a sell signal on tether dominance, it is time to move into altcoins. As you can see here. So every time we've only gotten 1, 2, 3, 4 strong signals from time transformation on Bitcoin dominance. And every time has been a fantastic opportunity for about a week and a half, this for about, honestly, 3 weeks, and this since January to move into altcoins. And when you get a buy signal, like on the 12th of November, it's a good time to be in Tether. All right. So I will be paying very close attention to any strong buy signal. We are getting set up for that, but that means that we're still have another week, maybe even 2 weeks before we get that signal. Oh, yeah, I should mention that. That Bitcoin and Friends is not safe for work. So, yeah, be careful watching it with your kids around or watching it at work. It is a little inappropriate, but not terribly inappropriate. Yeah, I mean, definitely something you want to watch on your mobile, maybe in the bathroom. But it's hilarious. So good. Okay, let's get into our requests. Oh, let's look at, sorry, we did not look at Aetherium, nor did we look at, sorry, Litecoin or ZERP. I can look at Litecoin. Actually, I can't look at ZERP for the above stated. Take ZERP off the chart. Okay, starting out with the 3-day. This is the 3-day BitMEX. Still, price came back down beautifully to test the 3-day Kijun. We actually see the 3-day Tenkan dropping. Or sorry, this is the daily Tenkan right here. Let's actually see if that's congruent. We see that the 3-day Tenkan is congruent with the daily Kijun as well. We have this previous retest area. You can see that price on the 3-day chart pulled back down, tested the 3-day Kijun as support, and is looking to hold above that. We do have a spinning top doji. On the current 3-day chart, we're going to have to wait until tomorrow evening for this to close. That does typically represent indecision in the market, but I would not expect a swift drop down from this. I would expect some consolidation on the higher time frames. That's typically what we get, and we are seeing that on the daily time frame. We can see that daily Tenkan just acting beautifully right there. Same thing, we did actually drop down to the 3-day Kijun. Let me make sure I'm getting the 3-day Kijun, like I just said. So congruent, holding that level of support. You can also broadly look at this as a support and resistance flip because we did have previous resistance right here. This was the level of critical resistance that I had talked about, and price has just kind of wiffle-waffled around it. We have hit both of my upside take profit targets on my Ethereum long, still looking for that last 25% to cash out at 181. And then we have our hardcore resistance above at 192.28. Again, this is on the BitMEX chart. Let's go down to the 3-hour. See what we've got going on. We actually had a continuation cross right here. Actually, sorry, it would have been right here. We got that continuation cross. So we have price above the 0 line and then crossing above. You would have put you in for a nice, let's see, buying on that. Would have put you in for a nice potential 5% profit potential. Depending on, obviously having to use the lower time frames to get out of that trade, and still looking pretty good. Still holding the 3-day Tenkan, so price is still broadly bullish, man. We need to close below some of the more significant levels of support here before we get all, oh my God, the sky is falling. Going down to the 15-minute chart, we are below the lower time frame levels of support and resistance. So we are looking for continuation shorts at this point in time, at least for our lower time frame scalps. But I do actually expect, after a movement like this, I do expect price to kind of continue on here. So we had a big drop movement down, and just look what we see. We saw a big movement down, big movement up. We saw a big movement up, big movement down, just trading around this range right here. 162.45 is the mean. I expect us to continue this range. However, if we do hold 162.45 as new support, I think that we get another stab up. I do think that we get another stab up. So there's Aetherium. Let's look at Litecoin here briefly. I don't have a strong opinion on Litecoin. Let's look at Litecoin BTC. Litecoin BTC on Binance. Just Litecoin continuing to go leaps and bounds above what I would expect. Doing very, very good. One of the best performers. Let's look. We did get a little bit of bearish divergence on this candle right here, and we pretty much just went sideways for the days. But again, we had that huge spike down. Big spike down, man. That was about a 10% spike down. We have broken above that level of support, or excuse me, we have broken above that previous level of resistance. Sad Jokers US, thanks so much for the sub, man. Highly appreciate it, my good friend. Oh, thanks for the sub on Twitch, man. Thank you so much for that Twitch Prime sub. Crypto Meister says, subbed you and upgraded all my tech today, man. Premium is next. Just an old Gen Xer looking to capitalize on my $10 ETH buy from January 17th, man. Highly appreciate it, man. Yes, I did see that, man. Thank you so much for the subscription on Twitch, man. You're one of the good ones, my good brother. Yeah, Camille asks him, you're holding all the time without any token operations? See, you know, usually when you get into Ethereum, you're holding other tokens, man. Listen. Litecoin has broken above resistance, pulled back down on the 3-day to retest resistance as new support. If price is above this red box, man, there's nothing to say, but looking pretty bullish, man. Looking bullish. Looking good, man. There's not a lot of TA to do on this yet. We've broken above resistance. We'll look for next targets. We have price putting in a continuation cross on the 3-day time transformation. We've got a lot of room to go to the upside, man. The last sell signal that we got right here would have put us in for about a 10% short trade to the downside, profitable trade by anybody's standards. But again, that was a pullback and retest of that previous level of resistance that we broke at above R4. So this was the strong indication to be in Litecoin, and it has just continued to exceed and outperform basically beyond anybody's expectations. Litecoin doing very, very well. There's nothing really negative to say about it. We really need to see a really bearish pattern and activity breaking down below this before we really get bearish on this baby. So keep your eyes peeled. Going down to the daily time frame, looking good, man. Rising momentum, rising volume actually, especially on this candle, and we've got a little bit of ways to go before we get overbought. Let's go down to the 15-minute time frame. Let's see what we got here. Yep, bullish daily trend on the Heikin-Ashi. So you're only looking for opportunities to buy. Yeah, I mean, you just have multiple beautiful, yeah, this would have been a good short right here because you're testing the upper boundaries of resistance. You pull back down, you wick down to the bottom of it and hold, and then put in a buy signal on time transformation. Remember, you're not looking for shorts because price is bullish. You get multiple amazing opportunities to sell. Crypto Minati, thanks so much for the follow on Twitch, man. Highly appreciated. You did put in the sell. It was a good thing that you didn't short because you do get a stop loss on it before a pretty good drop down. And then you wick down to the bottom of that support level. You hold. Again, another good buying opportunity. You pull back down, consolidate it around the upper boundary of resistance before you pull up. You have that BPC right here on the 15-minute time frame. Good opportunity to go long. You get another opportunity here. This looks good, man. Just looks good. A little bit of a bull flag right now on the 15-minute chart. I think this thing tries higher, man, or else we move a little bit more sideways in consolidation. I would need to see this level get taken out before I would even want to think about a short. Actually starting to look like a little bit of, actually, you know, interestingly enough, starting to look, you know, and you guys know how I feel about chart patterns, but I would say that looks a little bit like an inverted head and shoulders on the 15-minute chart. Could play out, man. You know, you guys know how I feel about measured moves, but that'd give us a 2% trade to the upside. Basically a retest of previous resistance up to 18.72. I think probably worth the trade, especially if we close above here. Okay, getting back into our real requests for Mr. Eli. Hopefully I don't see you in the chat, man, so you're probably not watching this, but anyways, we'll start off with the weekly on Go. Let's see here. So we had plotted out. We've hit 1, 2, almost 3 take profit levels here on Go. We can get rid of this now because that's no longer congruent. It's been a long time since we plotted out this Go. We did get the buy signal. We got the weekly buy signal here. Would have put us in for some significant drawdown, but about 20% drawdown, but would have gave us about 40% up, especially if we would have had the opportunity to sell there. Big move down, man. Big move down to support. Currently holding that weekly level of support. Pretty big volatile movement there from Go. I would look at this as a BTFD opportunity, especially if we're holding this level of support right here. So kind of this red box territory right here, as long as we're not closing the weekly below it, looks pretty good. Because basically this is just we had a nice bullish push, a 27% weekly candle, 22% bearish retest candle. But we're still holding that previous level of support. I think that as long as we have broken out of this consolidation zone, this accumulation zone right here, I think price moves higher. but I would not want to see price trading below 627 sats. I would not want to see that. Let's look at the 3-day, see what indications we have. We're looking, hopefully we're going to get a continuation cross here on the 3-day. We can see time transformation coming back down, still above the 0 line, but curling down, obviously a little bit bearish. We have, after that huge 3-day spike right here, up and then all the way back down, we're putting in an indecision doji down here in consolidation, which is exactly what we saw. We saw price kind of clutch itself up, 1, 2, 3, 9 days, 12 days, so almost 2 weeks of consolidation right here, just moving sideways, and then a big pump, and then a huge dump. So again, just kind of from the kind of avoid pump and dump type of mentality, you want to be a little cautious. This was the original setup. So this actually represented the buy zone, which we can see as the perfect accumulation zone. We had the stop loss down at 452. So congratulations to anybody who took that opportunity. And again, this is a little bit different from how I typically do things. I do this with altcoins. So these are accumulation zones. But anyways, congratulations to anybody who took that accumulation zone. You're already sitting in good profits now. What do I see moving forward? I think we move sideways here, man. As long as the 3-day and the weekly is above this level, I mean, the main thing I'm looking at here is the weekly close below 627. As long as we're closing above 627, I think this is a reaccumulation opportunity. As soon as we close that weekly, if we close tomorrow, if this little bit of a bear flag momentum plays out and we end up closing down below that 627 on the weekly tomorrow evening, so tomorrow's daily candle closing below 627, I'd probably want to be out of the trade, and I'd be looking back toward that reaccumulation zone between, what did I say, about 500 to 560? Yeah, I'd be looking back in that zone. Go BTC. Thanks, Sad Joker. I appreciate that, my good man. EVX, BTC. Let's see here. Let's go to the weekly, although I think the lower time frames are going to serve us the best here. All right, it's been a while. I don't really think I've done really good charting of EVX BTC. What do we see here? First on time transformation. After a little bit of consolidation around the 0 line. Closing strongly above the, excuse me, man. Excuse me. Some alerts going off. Worth. Maybe. We might be looking for, I have to pair this up with my other analysis, but my scanner did just fire for an ETH short. Not yet, but pending. It's just telling me to be on the lookout. Anyways, so EVX BTC, the weekly time transformation is trending above the 0 line, which means we're weekly bullish trending. I'd say some pretty negative price action or candlestick pattern here on the weekly. Typically, this is indicative of a big move down. Obviously, you had that huge sell-off. But the other thing that I will note here is we basically had a huge pump up and pump down. And then we had the late stage buying here. But we don't see a lot of strength from the bears, man. The bears really unable to push price down. I mean, we're holding that nice weekly level. So this could represent the entire accumulation zone that we're working with. Let's throw VPVR on here. And let's calculate out some of these weekly levels, man. So yeah, right. I mean, that's perfect, man. Look at the confluence there. You know, it's when technical analysis works, it works really, really good, man. So look, you have look at the two equidistant closes of this candle right here. Just almost perfect with the high volume node up here. And look where the weekly candle closed last week. I mean, just beautiful, man. Acting as strong resistance. So that's our current resistance level, around 23,598 sats. You could call it 23,600, I guess, if you didn't want to split some hairs, but I'm going to use the actual weekly closing level. If we get that weekly back above that, we start to look pretty bullish, man. We've got, where would some good take profit targets be? That boy, on the weekly time frame, 28,185. A good one. Put some of these on there. We'll just do 28,185. weekly take profit level. Our weekly take profit. Above that, 33,788. And 39,333. So that is about 70, 67, 68% to the upside. Managing risk at 14121. That's pretty deep. That's pretty deep. So you're talking about negative 36 for about 75% up. I think I'm overblowing those levels a little bit, but you guys broadly get my point. That's just a decent setup there using Quadriga, my stop and target system. I'd want to see us trade above that resistance level, though. Let's see where we're at. Where's our weekly itchies coming in at? Oh, we've got beautiful confluence. That level just perfectly corresponding to our weekly Tenkan and our weekly Kijun as well. Those aren't as tradable as our 3-day levels, but just something to keep in mind as well. I mean, we're just right at the confluence of stuff. You can see this is the breakdown zone. We've accumulated pretty much throughout this whole area right here, and we're right back up at resistance. All right, so let's get into our 3-day. I mean, we're right there as well. Look at our 3-day Tenkan and our Kijun. They're just twisting up, curling up. They're sitting right on price. Price is trading right through them and consolidating. Unable to burst out of the cloud yet. Let's go back to that weekly. Sorry, because I do want levels. Stability on days. Stability on days. Good. Yeah, I would want to see the 3-day, so tomorrow evening's candle close above that resistance level. Otherwise, I would assume that we range inside the cloud a little bit. There's not a whole lot below us. We've got our 3-day Chiku span coming in around 15.8, so maybe a good pullback to that area. So definitely wouldn't be in a trade now. And in fact, I just have this weekly stop loss level on here as an example. If you did want to enter now and you had like a long time frame horizon, is where you would be broadly looking at. But I would definitely be hesitant about that because this does look more like we're going to get a little bit of a pullback. You know, prices kind of arcing and scalloping down. And after a big move like this, you just would expect kind of a natural pullback. But if price is able to rally and close strongly above this resistance level in the 3-day Tenkan Kijun, the weekly Tenkan Kijun, nothing to say, man. That's a break above the 3-day cloud. That's bullish as all get out. A lot of excitement about EVX right now. Getting to our daily time frame right here. The future cloud is bullish. We are above the cloud. We are consolidating at a higher price. Doesn't look bad, man. Currently being suppressed by the Tenkan and getting squeezed between the Tenkan and the Kijun. I would expect a movement from this fairly soon, actually. So yeah, I mean, if you want a better time, there's nothing better than that, man. Break of the 3-day Kijun, I would go long. Otherwise, if you don't get that, I think we're gonna range inside the cloud. What do Oh, my daughter's so mad. Give me one sec, guys. And I'm back. Sometimes you just got to go tell them you love them. All right. Let's see. Blockchain gains, what's going on? Do I polish my head? No, I don't. It's just naturally that shiny. Do I know how to plot a line at every $100 increment on TradingView using PineScript? Shouldn't be too difficult. Let me think about it for a while. Yeah, that shouldn't be too difficult, man. DM me in the Discord. I'll see if I can help you out, bro. Let's go parabolic, baby. Yeah, parabolically down. Are we going to go down? I think we're going to consolidate for a while. But yes, I do think we are going to go down eventually. And stop looking at your shiny. All right, let's see here. What's next on the list? Sorry. EVX, there we go, man. Fet Oost. I swear, guys, this time Fetch AI is going to pump. And I swear, this is the time. We've traded this thing a few times. I mean, look, putting in some significant consolidation here, man. You know, look at the VPVR. More volume has been traded here than anything else. Let's get rid of these drawing tools. I don't think they're going to be helping us out for very much. I don't have enough data to do any Ichimoku. You know, it's very difficult to do technical analysis on something that's fresh. Look, we have a higher weekly low and a lower weekly high, but I'll go ahead and say that that's equal, right? And I know that bots and algos are going to look at that different, but anyways, the bots and algos are also going to see, hey, that's a weekly high or low. So maybe this thing can go, man. Maybe this thing can go, especially if we get a point of control. The point of control coming in around 983 sats. Sorry, this is USDT. So 0.2, 983. And price is actually like little baby bitch above that, to be quite honest, man. Okay. Let's see what we can do. Let's go down. Let's go down in time here. We got the 3-day trading underneath the point of control, in my eyes at least. This would probably be a good stop loss now at this point. Feels like we've already had a big drive down. If this was the bottom, I don't really see any other reason for price to get rated again. So just in general, using a stop loss below the HVM, whether you want to be aggressive and go down here, or whether you want to be a little bit more conservative and say here, or this candle. Either way, stop loss. anyways, this zone right here between 0.188 and 0.1924 would represent stop loss territory for me. But in general, I would not want to be in this trade unless the daily, or excuse me, the weekly, congruent with the 3-day, closes above this level of resistance, like fairly convincingly. I mean, this thing, by all intents and purposes, this thing can just accumulate for a while, man. This thing doesn't necessarily have to pump right now. I would actually expect this to accumulate a little bit more after such a big drop. Let's see here. Yeah, nothing to plot on the Ichi. Do we have any data? We might have a Tenkan. Yeah, okay. So we've got a daily Tenkan. We've got enough data for the daily Tenkan. I'd also want to see price probably close above the daily Tenkan now because price has just been suppressing. Now, if we can get above the point of control and consolidate underneath the Tenkan, then I would actually expect a stop loss hunt before price goes up. Generally, when you have a level of resistance and then a level of support that you break and then price gets squeezed in that area, typically before you pump, you go zip, boom, right? So I don't know. We'll check on this maybe next week. Maybe next week this thing will be ready to go. Unless something crazy happens. Let's set an alert though. Version line. Moving up by 1% in 2 bars. Great. Zuhair Nakvi, what's going on, my good man? Shorted at 52.47. Thank you for the $2, my good dude. Shorted at 52.47. Next spike, 41.45 before the drop. Ooh, man. Blockchain gains, thank you so much. Yes, March was a fantastic month. Let's go over to the charts. See here. Shorted 52.47. Great entry, man. Yep. In fact, we talked about this in the DM. I think you told me that. Is that the same number you told me? I have to look. And then got a DM. Well, I got to add that to my Trello board, Matt. Not a problem, man. I'm here for you, dude. But I will do that up for you tonight, bro. Let me go over to my Trello board. Ooh, hello. And here, boom. There you go, man. Let's see here. Next spike, 41.45. You mean 51.45? Was that a type? Yeah, 51.45 before the drop. All right, well, you heard it here, guys. This is where you want to short from. Bam. Why did that just magically? Look, it disappears. Ah, there we go. Trading view. It's so glitchy. Anyways. Yeah, that would probably be congruent with a bearish cross under. I'd want to wait for the signal, though. Wait for that signal. Yeah, you would expect, I mean, it's just natural to get a little bit of price retracement after a big sell-off like that. And still, that'd be a nice 6% move. So something you always have to ask yourself, and I try to tell this to people all the time, they're like, oh man, look, dude, price just put in a stop loss hunt, we're going to the fucking moon, dude. Or price just put in a stop loss hunt, we're dropping all the way down to 4,900. Look, man, like, is that the move? Like, from the market maker's perspective, don't you think the trade was this? Like, that's a fucking 10% trade, dude. Like, don't you think the move was this? That's a 6% move. The move doesn't always have to be that 40% move. In fact, those are very rare. Like, this is rare. That's rare. I think people They're just still trying to recover from it. Bob Miner, good to see you in the chat, man. Mr. E, check out this chart, man. All right, let's check this. Well, I know where I'm going to sell, man. I'm going to hold till 800,000, man, or 2.4. Hold until 2.4 million. And the bottom will be, is that a million or 100,000? That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 million. Millie with an M. Nice. Well, we're hodling. I like it, man. I've seen stuff like this similarly before, but I do like this long-term ascending channel analysis. It's good, man. Good. Especially I like the market cap comparison. This is probably one of the cleanest, best ones that I've seen. I like this. Going to big thumbs up. Can I save? I don't want to report it. I'm going to follow this idea. Hell yeah, bro. To the moon. Check back in with the live scene. Up about 1% off that TT buy signal. Market cap 95 trillion. I can't wait. Neither can I, George Korn. And I think in the long run, man, believers in Bitcoin will be rewarded. And the non-believers will be liquidated. No, shun them. Shun the non-believers. Sorry, what's next? Dash. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. Whoa. Manipulation. All right, get past that. All right, let's. There we go. Gonna have to look at the chart without that. Oh man. There we go. There we go. I kind of like it. Kind of like it. We had resistance. We flipped it as support right here on the weekly. Propelled up, pushed through my initiation level, and we're consolidating between these key levels that I had kind of plotted out here quite a while ago. We did have this little bit of a baby falling wedge. You guys know it's not my favorite thing, but I will put them on the chart from time to time. We did break out of that. Let's redraw this. It's been a while. So now we will flip back on VPR. Okay, so we do have, okay, are right here, point of control coming in at 2143784. Okay, point of control. Point of control. Above that, price is generally bullish. Doji at the top of an uptrend is the sign of indecision. At weekly resistance, makes sense. A little bit of a high volume node right there. Yep, we've got a high volume node range right here. We have a resistance zone. Plot that resistance out. And how broad we want to be. Really chunky here. I would say that we've kind of gotten over it, honestly. Again, just a train station as opposed to a train track. You can see how we kind of flew through this train track and this train track, and price is now consolidating in the train station. Here's our blue sky breakout level right here. Closing the week above this. Things really, really good for Dash. I don't have a strong opinion on Dash fundamentally. I don't really like it from the stuff that I've read. It's good. I mean, it's like kind of one of those niche things, right? Where really caters to a certain subset of people. But I mean, I don't mean like if you like Dash or use Dash. I'm talking about the people that mine Dash and like the infrastructure that surrounds Dash. But again, that's just my personal opinion. So it's worth about what that's worth. Plot out some of these critical levels. This is really the only area that stands out to me on the chart. We broke out of consolidation, pulled back, held previous resistance as support, held the weekly point of control as support, pumped up, consolidating sideways. Doesn't look too bad. The weekly time transformation is nearing overbought territory and is curling down. If we get that weekly cross under, I'd be a little speculative. But anyways, that's less tradable than the 3-day signals. Go to the 3-day. 3-day actually looks good, and again, the 3-day is killing it. Time transformation on the 3-day kills it. What do we see here on the 3-day? Do we see any kind of... No, not really. A bit of divergence between this point, I would say. This point wasn't a confirmed top from Fisher, so this actually picked up that this was not a top, as you can see here. Price just continued right along. So no divergence and just consolidation at that higher price level, as we talked about. Sorry, let's go back to that weekly. Come on, man. Stop with the shenanigans. Days. Visibility on days. Visibility on days. Very cool. Going back to that 3-day. I mean, it looks pretty good, man. I'm not going to lie. Dash looks pretty good. It broke resistance, pulled back, is holding it as support, is consolidating, not a swift rejection. I mean, it's that doji candle, especially that weekly doji, tells you to be a little cautious, but it doesn't look too bad, man. Let's look where we at with Ichimoku in regards to Ichimoku. We have broken above the Kijun and the Tenkan on the 3-day chart, and we've pierced the cloud, man. We've pierced the cloud. So we'd be looking for an edge-to-edge trade if you're really, really bullish, man. Does that have any congruence? Anything over here? A high target. Yep, over here. Oh, man. Stop. Quit playing games with my heart. With my heart. I mean, that's a big battle to overcome, but that's the edge-to-edge trade on the 3-day, man. You would want to reduce some risk at 309, 1005. Once we hit that resistance level or get near to that resistance level, you definitely want to reduce risk, take 50% of profit, and move your stop to break even. But you could be a little bit more conservative and use what we have for the future cloud here as well, which is quite lower. But yeah, man, just using higher time frames, dude. This looks good. That's 100%. That's 100%. That's a 50 to 100% evaluation. And you have your first take profit target about 20% above you. Yeah, price holding the 3-day Kijun. We have the bullish TK cross, and you've already had the pullback. Again, remember, you would have gotten that TK cross on this candle right here. If you would have bought the top, you would have been bad news bears, about 8% to the downside on the wick, 7% on the closing basis. You'd be right. You'd still be in drawdown right now, but if you would have just set some limit orders at the Tenkan or in the vicinity of this region right here, you'd be good. You'd be in profit right now, waiting for that pullback after the cross. And you got it right here. Looks good, man. Bullish TK cross, price piercing into the cloud. You know, I'm a little speculative on that weekly doji, but the 3 day is way more tradable. Looks good, man. Good. Dash looks good. Crypto Wars blockchain game is migrating from Ethereum to BSV. Check it out. Check it out. All right, man. You know, I was looking at BSV earlier. And I actually thought it looked kind of tasty. Yeah. I wish we had a little bit more data here on Binance, but doesn't look unnaturally tasty. Come on, fake Toshi. Pump it up, baby. Pump it up. It's worth it if we get above that 15-minute resistance. I think so. Consolidating at that higher level. As long as we're above, you know, this level right here. We've already had 2 stop loss hunts down, so I wouldn't want to see another dip down. So a little tentative, man, but if we get above these, if we get back above that 15-minute cloud, I think I'll probably go. Let's see here. Honor says, I will short at 2.4 million. I'm not varying from it. I want to win. I just want to win. Hey, I'm not bad with you, man. Or I'm not down on you, man. I fully feel you. Hey, thank you, Mr. Ether. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. It took a lot of time to make TT, man. A lot that goes into it. Cryptomeister says, based on the diminishing returns on all-time highs, why should we think this incoming high will be greater than 55,000 USD for BTC? Yeah, I mean, that's why, you know, and again, I do think that Mr. Ether's chart is one of the better ones that I've seen. I stay out of that realm, like how high will price go on the next bull run? Doesn't really matter to me because, you know, I'll wait and see what the technicals are when we get there. You know, you can go back and look at the 3 day using Ichimoku and using time transformation and signal. See on the last run up. BCHSV, what to buy? BCH USDT. I would take a stab if price closes above the 15-minute cloud. I would take a stab if price closes. And it wouldn't take me very much to realize that I was wrong because I wouldn't want to be in the trade below this. About a 4 to 5% loss, so you got to position size appropriately. But that's nothing crazy. So I'd at the very least be going for a retest of these highs. 8 or 10%. But we'll see. I haven't done anything yet, guys. Calm down. Come on, fake Toshi. Pump it up, baby. Edward Crowell says, I'm new to cryptocurrency. What's a good one to purchase? Bitcoin. Just buy some Bitcoin, man. Zuhair Nakvi says, can I look at the 8-hour 886 and 377? We haven't been able to close an 8 above the 886. I'll be really conflicted shorting this thing if we close an 8 above the 886. Yeah, man. Check it. You want XBT? Or we'll do XBT. 8-hour. And we will get rid of all distractions. So here is our 8-hour 336, or sorry, 377 and 886. Go ahead, Juan. And I don't think this is as good on Max, but pretty good, man. Airsoft X Unlimited. Thanks so much for the sub on YouTube, man. Highly appreciated. So the idea here is if we close the 8 hour above the 886, then we'll be pretty bullish, pushing for higher prices. Could be, man. We could have, let me just, I know it's a little bit different, man, but here we do close above the 886 right here, pull back, retest it, and then push up. That's a good sign. But here, if I just draw your attention to the last time we have price action, like now, look at this. Look at this last time, the last time that we actually went above the 886. And let's compare that with price action right now. Does it look kind of similar? I would say so. Or sorry, that's the you get what I'm saying, right? Okay, I just realized that actually the level that the 886 acted as resistance. But anyways, here's again kind of the same. Okay, let's. Sorry. Now that I cannot be a dum-dum. Consolidation below the 886, break above, pull back, retest the 337, push up. Close below, BPC down. Consolidate above, brief pump, rejection, no BPC, just straight. And we don't ever go near price again. So we get over here and kick. I mean, you know, the fact that it's tilted up is a pretty good sign, man. In my opinion, in my experience, the curve of moving averages as opposed to crossovers or where they are in relation to support and resistance, they are much better leading indicators of which direction to take price. And when price starts to, when they start to curve up, pretty good indicator to go. So we'll see, man. Haven't closed above it yet. Fake Toshi first dumps some Bitcoin and afterwards pumps the SV. You know, what's interesting, Christian Zealot what's interesting about that quantum computing thing is I've always thought it was and again, I'm not trying to single you out, but I've always thought that was a red herring because if quantum computers can be used to break the Bitcoin network, and again, I'm well aware of my faults and I'm well aware of my faults when it comes to logical reasoning here. But if quantum computers are going to be the death knell for Bitcoin, why can't the same technological capacity be used to secure the blockchain, right? Would you have an arms race, you know, between, you know, which quantum computer can actually quantum faster? Seems to me. I don't know. Cryptomeister says, I think I am starting to miss the salmon bedroom background. Just kidding. Everything is sweet today. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. All right. Let's see here. Oh, it's 7:03, guys. Okay, that's the knell, man. That's the knell. So let's talk about some end of show stuff. Okay. First off, thank you all so much for watching the stream today. You guys have been fantastic. Amazing questions. Good reach out. Hopefully today has helped crack some cryptocurrency for you. We talked about technical indications to have been able to have spot both the Bitcoin jump, the pump, and the Bitcoin dump. We talked about how you could have used sentiment indicators or sentiment analysis to catch the dump. But you would have needed those underlying technical indicators, in my opinion, to be actually able to pinpoint the movement or the right moment in time to actually initiate and enter the trade. We broke down USDT dominance and what it means for the altcoins moving forward. We broke down Bitcoin dominance and what that means for the altcoins moving forward. We looked at longs to shorts ratios. I told you guys and taught you guys how you can look at the entire basket of Bitcoin to fiat currencies measured against Bitcoin's actual price in dollar terms to get a more accurate longs to shorts ratio and how to put it on your chart. We also went over Go, BTC, EVX, BTC, FET, USDT, Dash, BTC, did price predictions and what I expect to see from those moving forward. We looked at the bid-ask sum. We looked at VCDepth.io, the market depth ratio. We looked at Mr. Ether's long-term price prediction. So just a reminder, tomorrow evening show, I'd really appreciate it if you guys could tweet at X42 Protocol or at Cracking Crypto, kind of spread the word. Tomorrow night for the evening show, I will be having Gabriel from X42 Protocol on the show for an interview. He is a brilliant individual, really good guy. I always enjoy talking to him, and I thought it was a good opportunity to bring him on the show, answer some questions about X42, and just have a good discussion with one of my friends, man. So we're going to talk about the markets. We're going to talk about X42. We're going to talk about cryptocurrency in general. We're going to talk about the news. We're going to speculate. It's going to be real chill, relaxed. I really appreciate it if you guys drop in and join us for our regular show. It's just going to be a really cool time, man. Again, if you guys want to get yourself some Kraken Cryptocurrency merch, whether that be a coffee mug or a t-shirt, if you guys want to support the stream, you can go over to krakencryptocurrency.com/merch for the next 5 days. They are having a discount. Everything is 15% off. Everything in the store, 15% off. So you guys can get yourself whatever you like over there. Again, I have heard that using Kraken Cryptocurrency merch will improve the effectiveness of your trading and your personal attractiveness by 80 to 90%. Depends on the day, depends on the time, depends on how I'm feeling. You guys can go over to the krakencryptocurrency.com/blog and check out the new post from one of our contributors right here. Really good, interesting article about how the Lightning Network's numbers with the number of nodes and connections have exploded, as well as or in conjunction with Bitcoin's price. And again, if anybody's done some technical analysis on the connection between Litecoin network nodes and the appreciation of Bitcoin price, I actually don't think that you're going to find anything, but it would be interesting, and I'd be interested to see that if you can come up with something like that. That's about all I've got. Guys. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much for all the donations from everybody. Thank you so much for the subs, the follows. You guys have been awesome and wonderful. Thank you so much. If you guys want to trade along with myself and the other traders and analysts at Kraken Cryptocurrency, if you'd like to be in the premium trading group, get access to my signals, my setups, my premium course that will teach you how to build an if this then that strategy and emphasize strongly on money management and trader psychology, you guys can check the link out at the top of the screen. That also comes with private Discord access and access to my indicators on TradingView as well as the strategies that I'm coming out as well. That's about it, guys. Thank you so much for all your support. That's been the end of the show. My name is Justin Wise. This has been Kraken Cryptocurrency. Until tomorrow, guys, trade safely and take her you.